Hello everyone. Now I'm going to discuss about the seismic design of the 23-story building which we had designed earlier. And now the first thing we have to do is to define the seismic load. Go to the define menu. Go to the define menu and go to load patterns, and then go to the load section and type seismic, and go to the type and choose seismic, and go to the name and choose the IS code designed for seismic loads, which is IS 1893, and then choose modify lateral load. Now we will be applying this load only in the x and y directions without any eccentricity, and then choose the seismic zone factor, the importance factor, and the and calculate the response reduction factor according to the formula as stated earlier, which is equal to scale factor is equal to Ig by 2r, where I is the importance factor, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and R is the reduction factor. Now click on OK, and then click on OK again. Then the seismic load will be defined. Now go to define menu and choose load combinations. And if you can't see the load combinations of the dead and live loads, click on add default or design combinations, and you can see all of them, and then click on OK. Now go to analysis and choose set load cases to run option, and now here you don't have to apply the wind load, so choose it as do not run, and then click on run now. And wait for the analysis to be done, to be finished. After the analysis has been completed, in the 3D view tab you can see the displacements on each of the member, which comes up by default, and then you can check all the force and stress diagrams by going to the display menu, and then go to design menu and choose the concrete frame design, and make sure that the design code is IS 456, and then click on OK, and then start the design check. Now that you've finished the design check, you can view all the members which have failed, and then now you can view the project report, which shows all the details about the building, from the loads to the reinforcement used, as well as the dimensions of each member in the building. Now we I'm going to show you how to use the response spectrum function to the building. First, unlock the model after the analysis, and then go to the define menu, load patterns, and make sure that the seismic load has been added. And then go to define, select functions, and then response spectrum function, and then choose the function IS 1893 2002, and then type in the function name as response spectrum, and then add new function. Now the response spectrum function has been defined. And then go to display and go to options, display units, and go to acceleration, and see that the units are millimeter per second square. And then go to the load cases option, you can see, and only 5 cases can be added, you can delete one of them. You can delete the wind load case, since it is not required, and then add a new load case, name it as response spectrum, and choose the load case type as response spectrum. And then choose the add option in the loads applied, click on acceleration, name it as U1. And then calculate the scale factor as I have told earlier using the formula Ig by 2R. And then add another load type defined by acceleration and name it as U2, and click on OK. And then choose set load cases to run option in the design menu, and make sure that the dead load, live load, and the wind load as do not run option, and then click on run now. And then after the analysis, you can view the displacements of each member by moving the cursor at each point in the 3D view tab, which comes up by default, and you can view the various force and stress diagrams using the display menu, from the display menu. And then now start the design check for the building. And then after the design check is completed, the software asks if there are any failed members. The software asks to reiterate the frame sections of the number of frames which are failing, and then click choose the option yes, so that the software automatically reiterates the sections, and then click on yes. And then after the software reiterates the sections, even if there are still failed members of the frame sections, you can redesign the frame sections by changing the dimensions of the beams and columns as shown earlier, which is pretty simple. Now I'm going to show the application of time history analysis function. Make sure that the seismic load is added and has not been deleted by any chance. This is very important, so make sure that the seismic load is acting on the building. And then go to define menu and then functions, and then define the and choose time history function. Choose the file which is set to be the Bhuj earthquake time history analysis file, but I couldn't find the file, so I used the sine curve as in the choose function type option. And then time history function type, you can type time history analysis function. And then click on OK. Now the time history function has been defined. Now go to load cases option. Now you may delete any one if there are 5 cases already, and choose new load case option, and then type in the load case name as time history function. Load case type as time history analysis, and then you can add the loads acceleration and name it as u1, and choose the function which you have named it earlier, and then you can calculate the scale factor, which is the same 1663.5, which is calculated by using Ig/2R formula, and click on OK. Now this also has been defined. Now go to analysis, set load cases to run option. So this is the similar method for both time history analysis and response spectrum method. There's no difference in this. And go to set load cases to run option, and choose do not run for dead load, live load and wind load, and only seismic load, the model load and the time history analysis should be acting. Wait for the design check to take place, and now after the design check has been done, the software asks you whether it can reiterate the frame sections. Click on OK, and then if it still asks whether it can reiterate any of the sections which needs reiteration, click on OK. And after all the sections have been reiterated, even if there are still sections which are members which are failing, then you need to redesign the dimensions of the sections. That is pretty simple, you know how to do it. You can unlock the model and change the dimensions of the particular members which are failing. Thank you.